Well, first off, let's go to the optics of that conversation. And I think that the conversation was built out of the desire for people to get conversation on their own social media platform, whether it's a website, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. People just, what can I do to generate conversation? Who's the biggest guy? Who's the tide maker in global football right now? It's Pep Guardiola or Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho have been around for a long time. People have talked about him. So let's hammer on Pep Guardiola, because if you praise Pep Guardiola and you say, oh, he's a genius, he's revolutionizing the game, it's not a big deal. You're practically saying the obvious. But when you come out and say, oh, he's a fraud, he spent so much money, he's done this, he's done that, then you get people's attention because you're looking for reaction. It's a smart way to be on the social media space, because in this era, people really don't care about analytics, people really don't care about hardcore analysis. It's like rap music turning into trap. Okay, if you bring hardcore rap today, nobody wants to listen to it. Even though if it's talking about the hills of society, the real things that are happening in society, nobody wants to listen. People want to say, those kind of trap or trash that comes out of music, talk about your bling bling and the rest. So that's exactly what people do. But let's extract Pep Guardiola. Like everything you've said, he came into England, first season he didn't win anything. That's one of the first things that's happening to him, where he coached the team in the season and nothing came out of it. And then the second season, he won. The third season, it didn't just only won the league, but it set new height, new standard, defined the league by his own standard, not letting the league defining him. And then Liverpool came, had to do that. It was very difficult to beat what Pep Guardiola said, but then they needed to play from the get-go, from the start of the season to the end. Liverpool are also finding out now how difficult it is to win the league and defend it with that same tempo, which means that Pep Guardiola set the standard so high that you need to go above it. You need to fly state mode. You need to fly with a drone, on notice before you can capture that league title. Yeah, we would agree that there is COVID-19. The football have not started properly. They didn't have the proper 92 days from the end of the season to the start of the new season. They didn't have the proper preseason training, and then it affected everybody, not only Man City. But then you look at the team in the league. I don't know of any league where a season goes this far with a team not having a major striker. Just imagine Liverpool without Firmino, Mane, and Salah for the whole of the season. They should be somewhere around 19. Just imagine Manchester United without Martial, Rashford, and maybe Cavani. They'll be somewhere in 15th or 14th, if I'm not mistaken. So you look at that and you say to yourself, listen, Pep Guardiola has started a new world order in football. They might agree, they might disagree. But how is made sure that that idea of, if I can get everybody playing in the middle of the park, is actually convinced us now that football is played at the middle of the park. If I can get everybody, it's made Jad Cancelo go from just a regular fullback to a Kimmich, Bastian Schweinsteiger, and like our producer, Kalejai, reminded me this morning, and Philip Lam. So it's taken something from his days at Bayern. It's taken something from his days at FC Barcelona, brought them in. He's not gotten the players like Lewandowski, Ian Robben, Frank Ribery. Neither has he gotten Messi and the rest of them. But then he's got Kevin De Bruyne. He's got Ike Gundogan. And all of a sudden, Mahrez has come to the party at the very right time. Even though Sterling is still struggling, but he scored last night. And then you look at all of these teams, the way they come together. But the best thing about Pep Guardiola this season is not even in the attack. Pep Guardiola does not go an entire season with this much clean sheet. Okay, he's brought in Ruben Dias, to pair John Stones. Nobody would accept that a John Stone, for instance, would be so rock solid that all season, as bad as things are, they've considered 5-2 against Leicester, considered 2 goals against Spurs, lost 2 games this season, drawn some games, but they've got 13 clean sheets in 19 games in the I want to say Nigerian Premier League, in the English Premier League. A tough, rocking, high-scoring league like the English Premier League, they've considered 13. They definitely would not break the Chelsea record of conceding 15 goals in a season, but they are somewhere in that range. And that's something that he should give credit for, especially when you know that Pep Guardiola does not coach a team that is really very solid at the defense. Yesterday against West Bromwich Albion, for instance, I saw people will come with the excuse that, oh, West Bromwich Albion at the bottom. But like you said, they had Liverpool. They held Chelsea, scored three goals in 30 minutes. they had Manchester City previously. So it's not as if they are new to this territory. But concerning 4 goals or 3 goals in the first 30 minutes and then 4 goals in the first half and then 1 goal in the second half, credit to them for holding it in the second half. But I thought that because Man City have reached a place where they don't need to push themselves anymore, if they needed more goal, they would have found that goal. Okay, that's the reason why it was like that. For what they've done, the amount of clean sheet that they've kept, the way that John Stones is even contributing to goals now. 19 players in all competition, 19 players in this Manchester City team have scored this season. That's an incredible record for me, looking at Pep Guardiola as a man who is a typical example of when they throw you lemon or lime, create lemonade, because situation threw at him things that he couldn't handle. And I'm thinking he's holding out not to spend money this window so that next window he could go for Ireland and then bring in maybe Messi to add up spice, icing on the cake that is already preparing, because next season is also going to be very challenging, especially if he doesn't win the Champions League this season. I know that if he doesn't win the Champions League, everybody's going to say, oh, we're tired of you winning the league, you should give us the Champions League. But until then, he's still in the competition, so we know that he can get something out of it, possibly. I think that Pep Guardiola, alongside Jose Mourinho, are the greatest coaches of all time. I'm still going to give Jose Mourinho the credit that is due because of what he's done over the stretch of 2 decades. So Pep Guardiola, calling him a fraud for me is the greatest disrespect and insult anybody can pour on a coach. I think that conversation should end right now, seeing what he has done this season.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.